Tonight, damaging photos of Obama set to surface. Plus, did Q just expose a child sex traffic ring? Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. As always, I'd like to begin by thanking each and every one of my subscribers. You guys are honestly what make this channel possible, so I can do this and bring this to you every single day. So please, if you have not hit the subscribe button yet, come here to this landing page and click the big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified as soon as these posts get made available, because as soon as the information is made available to me, I make it available to you. Now, you guys are probably just fresh off watching my last video that I just posted recently called Booms en Route here, the Trump conspiracy theory with Roseanne and everything. But there's been so much more since then, and I just want to get into breaking down each and every one of these posts for you guys, and I can't wait to go through the comments on both videos and start really interacting. But I've been quite busy just trying to get the research together to get this video out to you guys now as this is popping up to me. So first, Q actually references this, which is a post on the board, and here it is right here. Okay, so it says fugitive. Well, first the AN0N post here. He says the attached article is all true. Does anyone remember how Facebook became famous? It was the CIA clown-run op, Virginia Tech University shooting that put Facebook on the map. Fugitive Facebook founder says he's alive and well, but running for his life from CIA because of its secret involvement in the social media site. And then it links to this article here, and the title of the article obviously is fugitive Facebook founder says he's alive and well but running for his life. And if you get into actually reading through this article, this story was around for a while. This guy was famous because he actually tried to sue Mark Zuckerberg for an alleged agreement that they had made prior to the expansion of Facebook into what it is today, where he claimed to have owned 84% of the company. Now, he was quickly countersued, and his case was thrown out, and then he was sued for allegedly tampering with docs and making false corrections to some of the documents, the legal documents that had been reportedly changed in some way. So, but here's the article. So here, listen to this. He says the reason for the supposed plot against his life is that his fraud trial might reveal involvement by the CIA's venture capital arm In-Q-Tel in Facebook. Exactly what that alleged involvement is not clear. So this guy is definitely somebody to be looked at, and Q's pointing directly to him here by pointing out this post. And I think we need to do a little more research on him. But how does this all tie back? Well, it's going to tie into what's going on with Zuckerberg today and how he's going to be testifying in front of Congress. And I mean, he had to have known this day is going to come. He was going to be exposed for all the things that he's done, and the fact that I think Q's just pointing to the fact that there's a connection behind the scenes between the CIA and Facebook, and it didn't just become famous by itself on its own. It had a little bit of help from a few intelligence alphabet agencies. So moving back to the Q board, let's keep going because we got a lot to cover here. This is a picture of Obama back in the day, him in his garb. It's kind of a Muslim dress garb, and Q says here, he says, pics will surface of Hussein holding AK-47 in tribal attire, one of many. Net shutdown Q. And a little closer look at this pictures right here of Obama, and notice his ring that he has on well before I believe he was even married, but could be incorrect on that one. Now, why is this important? Well, they say there's many. Okay, so there's not just one picture of him holding an AK-47 in tribal attire, but that there's going to be a net shutdown, as in the internet, as in they're going to shut down anybody trying to report on this and scrub it from the face of existence, because this does not co-align with any of their narratives and could actually shatter some people's whole image of Obama by saying, you know, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, a picture of that nature could be worth 1,000,000 words or more if we were to actually see. But the AN0N post here is something interesting. He says Christian ring, and Q he's pointing to this post, right? And he says there's a picture of him holding a AK-47. So We'll just keep going because there's a little bit more to this than first we even get to know. Now Q responds to himself here, and he says, fake pic push by MSM, videos backup, Google kill, YouTube kill, Facebook kill, Twitter kill, Yahoo kill, Bing kill, Instagram kill. Net will be paused. Hammer on the clock. Q. So what I think they're saying is that if they try to push this picture on the internet, they're going to basically shut everything down. Because this could be that damaging to their narrative and everything that they've been working for years, if not decades, to enact the brainwashing of America through the mainstream media. So obviously there's a lot at stake here, and if they had to, they would just shut it down entirely. And then the next is an AN0N who posts and asks, how soon? And he's obviously referring to this one right here. It says, we don't inform our enemies of the specifics. We instead instill fear in them to make unplanned and disastrous countermoves. Q. Obviously, that's something big too. So this is Q kind of an idea of how they work. They don't necessarily go out with the intention of making people or giving their enemies the exact layout of what they're going to do. Rather, they give them the idea of what they have and then watch them scramble like little cockroaches when the lights get turned on. So obviously, that is something to be looked at. But what we're going to go back here and look at is the ring. So he has this ring on, and Jerome Corsi, made a great observation. He wrote an article, I think back around 2012 here, that talks about the ring that Obama wears, right? And what does that article say? Well, here, we'll just reload this page. And it says that the title of the article here by Corsi back on October 10th, 2012, says Obama's ring, there is no God but Allah. Now, here's a picture. They have close-ups, right? And they kind of break down, Corsi breaks down in this article how he's been wearing this ring since, before he was even at Harvard, on his wedding ring finger. And if you close up and you break it down here, it actually shows the scripts that are being used, right? And what they actually translate to is there is no God but Allah, right? That's what they say that it is overlaid into the ring, right? And then I guess he went and changed the ring later, but this is just incredible. I think I had heard this story before, but bringing it back to my attention now is very critical when we're looking at what's going to be breaking on the internet, talking about his ring having a correlation to him holding an AK-47 in Muslim garb, which, I'm for the Second Amendment, but I think there could be some other things that we're going to have to examine in that picture that may be pointing us in another direction altogether. Q goes on to say, responding to his own post here, he says, Epicenter, Full House, they're all here, 24/7, 365, enjoy the show. So trust you me, everyone out there watching, okay, they are here, they are watching, they are monitoring everything that happens on these QAnon research boards, and they are working actively to make unplanned and disastrous countermoves. That's what Q is saying. So it really all draws back to this. They're all here. They're all watching. So just we have to accept that, and that's why a lot of this is written so cryptically, and we can't be too out forward. But everything's really hitting the surface now. These are the booms that have been promised, and they're coming hard and fast. So the next one is an AN0N here who says to the effect, he says, normies won't give a crap if he is Muslim with a gun. They won't care, right? And then it says, Q response, the important point is who Hussein is aiming the gun at, red, white, and blue, spray, Q. Well, is the picture of him holding the gun at a flag, or is a picture of somebody who is important here in America? Or was in that picture, is he firing the gun? Is there a video of him firing a gun? I mean, these would all be things that I think could shatter certain people's perception of Obama if it's all true. This is all alleged at the moment. We don't have any proof to verify it, but this is what Q's telling us they have in store for us. And so we're going to have to wait and watch. And just be careful, guys. If this does drop, this information could be so big that they would maybe pull out the stops, as in shut down servers and shut down websites, just to keep it from flowing, even though I don't know how they would ever contain it in this day and age without doing something pretty epic. So you guys just be careful, be aware, and be aware of your surroundings, and definitely keep following this information so that we can be aware as we go forward. Now, the next one, he's responding to his own post here, and Q says, connect via past religious leaders. Re Hussein, we have everything. They know we do. Risk, Q. So it's all a big game of risk. And when we look at what past leaders that Obama was going and worshiping, we pull up on this gentleman here, Jeremy Wright. And this is a Wikipedia page specifically dedicated to the Wright controversy of how I think that Obama's been following, or had been following, this guy since like the 80s, right? And everybody, he has a lot of controversial talking points. If you guys want to go check out this Wikipedia page, you can find it pretty easily. Just put Jeremy or Jeremiah Wright controversy in, and it'll be the first thing that pops up. But I wanted to point to the one that really matters down here. And it says, and I'm going to read it from a little bit before. Talking about America, it says, America failed. She put them in chains. The government put them on slave quarters, put them on auction blocks, put them in cotton fields, put them in inferior school, put them in substandard housing, put them in scientific experiments, put them in lowest paying jobs, put them helplessness, or put them outside the equal protection of law, kept them out of the racist bastions of higher education, and lock them into positions of hopelessness and helplessness. The government gives them drugs, builds bigger prisons, passes a 3-strike law, excuse me, and then wants to sing God Bless America. No, 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 not God Bless America. And then he says, gosh darn America, but he uses different language, obviously much stronger, and I'm not even going to say that because I don't believe that at all for 1 second. But he says that's in the Bible for killing innocent people. And he says it again, gosh darn America. You guys can see right here what he actually said. But it says, for treating our citizens as less than human. Gosh darn America, as long as she tries to act like she is God and she is supreme. The United States government has failed the vast majority of her citizens of African descent. Now that's just an example of what he was going and listening to at his sermons. So you can imagine that somebody with that kind of ideology who is now had become the president of the United States, and then with all of these other outliers that are pointing to a lot of really scary things, and then you go back and re-examine Trump's birther movement. You know, the media wants to just criticize Trump and say how wrong he is and how stupid he is about the whole birther movement, but the more that we learn about what Obama's done and what he's allegedly have done, according to Q and others, other sources very high up who are close to the president and his men, this is really concerning. I mean, on a very, very serious level. So we have to continue to connect. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments, because this is just my opinion here I'm giving you guys as we go through this. I'd love to hear your thoughts and analysis on what you think all of this means. But I can tell you right now that a lot of this is I'm very on the dot here, because this is pretty straightforward stuff. And this is the plan that they are forming on they're going to shut it down if this starts to come out, if they actually start, but I don't know how they're going to shut it down. It'd be an incredible event that would have to happen, so we all need to be prepared for that if that were the case. Now, moving on to the next Q post. Think North Korea. Think nuke stranglehold. Think logically. Timeline. Plan. Are you awake? Q. Okay. So, obviously we've had a lot, but articles that have been coming out, like today, for instance, saying that North Korea could have technology to nuke the U.S. by summer. And this is from a top British official, apparently. But British Defense Minister Lord Howe informed British lawmakers in January that North Korea could have the technology to launch a nuclear strike against the U.S. in around 6 to 18 months. So is Britain now pushing the charge to have a military conflict with North Korea in order to cover up for all the crimes that's going on over there? As we know, the British government is just rife with pedophilia. You can look up the stories online yourself. There is certainly a big issue there. And I point to a Newsweek article because, hey, we have to monitor the people who are putting out the fake news, right? Who are delivering these propagandized narratives so the people can just eat them without, or digest them without having to think twice about it. But is it any wonder that now that we're in the process of negotiating peace with North Korea through a denuclearization platform and a bilateral, even trilateral, I guess if you bring in China into the negotiation, saying that we are going to come in and we are going to make a big difference for the Koreans and their destitute country. I think it would be really, really interesting to maybe hear what you guys have to think about what Q's referencing here, that they are trying to portray North Korea as being actively able to get these nuclear weapons, when in reality, I think we've already went in and basically neutered the great leader, if you want to call him that, and we neutered him. He has nothing left, and he knows he has to come to the table and talk. So obviously, I think that's the plan. I think that the timeline's working, and it's really unfortunate that they're trying to sideline that and to start a conflict on the other end of it here with what they are saying in this article. And this is a part of the Mockingbird press and how they want to report things to draw a narrative that they need to keep themselves in power. Now, all right. Here's a great one from an AN0N, and it's just a really nice letter, so we'll read through it really quickly here. And it says, hold on. Hey Q, thank you for making my terrible day a little better. Feeling a bit like POTUS today. Had a coworker lie about his screw-up and blame it on me. My heart goes out to President Trump. The attack made on me is minuscule in comparison to the attacks our president and now the Q team experiences on a daily basis. I wish I could give all of y'all a big hug and express to you how grateful I am for what y'all are doing for us and our country. I am so thankful to have a president now who calls out the media and knows his people are smart enough to discern the truth for themselves. We are sick of the conjecture and half-blanked journalism. So thank you again for everything. It means worlds more than you could ever know for us to have a president who believes in the greatness of we the people. Do you think POTUS could give a confirmation, kind of like symbolic hug, sending my love and prayers, Godspeed? Q responds, stand strong, patriots, together, Q. Amen to that. I mean, we have to look to God first, and then we have to trust in one another, and we have to stand strong as patriots who are fighting for our country. So good to point that out. It's good to not forget that there's good out there and that we're inspiring people, all of us together, to do what's right, and that's really important. Now, the next post. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Backpage, but it's a site that became rather famous, or infamous, if you will, for its ability to house, it's kind of like a Craigslist style website where people went for things like prostitution and drugs and that kind of stuff. And it's amazing that today, according to reports, we actually have, if you go to their website, this is what pops up, and it's the picture that Q is pointing at, and it says that its affiliated websites and Backpage have been seized by the government. So then if you read the articles coming out about it, here's a statement from Senator McCaskill talking about what happened today. As the article goes on, it says, after the Department of Justice seized the Backpage and all affiliated accounts, Senator McCaskill released the statement. This is great news for survivors, advocates, and law enforcement in Missouri and across the country, but it's also long overdue and further proof of why our bipartisan legislation is so critical. State and local law enforcement need this bill to enable them to take swift action against websites that knowingly facilitate sex trafficking of children online, and to stop the next Backpage long before another website can claim so many innocent victims. And the article goes on to say Backpage has been accused of having ties to sex trafficking. This all kind of piggybacks on what they're talking about with how Roseanne was talking about how Q is exposing child sex traffickers, right? And we're actually going to expose child sex traffickers here. I mean, this is crazy. So just stay tuned. We're getting to it. But Q says here, that didn't take long. Preparation, strength tests. For God and country, we fight for freedom, Q. Okay, so obviously, right here, we're being told this was a part of the plan, and it was enacted, and it didn't take much because it can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt at this point by the Justice Department and the FBI, if they're actively seizing the website, that there is some nefarious connection to some kind of illicit activity that should not be going on. So that is incredible. Kudos to Q. It's just so incredible, such incredible times we live in. I'm so thankful for all of this information that's coming out. An AN0N posts, I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States of America in close combat. Where we go one, we go all. And I support that statement fully, but then Q tempers it here. He says to us, your trust and faith in us is enough. You elected us to do the heavy lifting. Enjoy the show. Birth of a Nation, New World, Q. Okay, so I agree with that statement as well, because as ready as we are as patriots to go out and combat this ugly, evil sex trafficking and human trafficking and globalist Luciferian pedophiles, these people who are literally committing these terrible crimes against humanity in some cases, we have to temper it with the fact that we need to trust the plan and trust that the people that we've put in charge, we've elected to clean this up, are working 24/7, 365 to get this out of existence, basically, to wipe the scourge of evil that's infiltrated our whole government from top to bottom out, while at the same time protecting the sanctity of our country and the sanctity of God first and foremost. So this is definitely what's going on behind the scenes, and we're going to get into it, and it's a part of us. Q even gives us a call to action up here saying that we need to start reporting this stuff to the FBI, and we have stuff to report that I'm sure all of you out there can let them know that this is what Q's pointing to, and we want to know, is there any connection to what he's suggesting? Because, and is it going on with this talent agency? We'll get into that. Okay, now, next one is pointing to this, which is a story came out recently about Representative Blake Farenthold resigns from Congress, and he was a representative in Texas, Corpus Christi to be exact, and he had been rife through his last few months of working with sexual scandals, and that the Office of Compliance had covered an $84,000 settlement to Green. In that case, it's really, he pledged to reimburse it but never gave it back. This guy just seems like he is the one of the more corrupt out there to me, in my opinion. So he's decided to step down early, and Q's pointing to it, and he says that didn't take long. Border state coincidence, Q. So is he one of the people who's working to stop us from, locking up our borders and getting them secure, to keep the flow of illegals in, but then also to keep what I've talked about in previous episodes? If you want to go back, please just go back and watch either of my last few videos, any three of them. I've been talking about this for the last 3 videos, about how Q is warning us that there's stuff coming in through that southern border that's not just the illegal immigrants themselves. It's stuff that can't be passed digitally, can't be passed online, has to be hand-to-hand, and they can't come in through any of the secure areas, secure ports of entry. So they go to the weak spot, the border, where they know they can get stuff across using probably MS-13 and the cartels to actually smuggle things in that are used then against our country as a whole. Now, we're going to get up to the next one. I don't know who these people are, okay? And this is a picture that Q posts. I have still yet to figure this out. It just looks like a really young girl with her parents, I guess. Something disturbing. You guys please let me know in the comments who this is. But it says GM. So I'm not sure what GM is yet, and I really would appreciate your help, because we got a lot to cover here in this board. But Q responds to this person by saying, Look up Ray.Chandler. None are safe. Okay, and then it goes on to say here, Q responds again. He says, Epstein's plane. Who is she? Follow friends. Friends lead to others. Open source Q. Well, Ray Chandler, we're going to figure out who she is in a second here. I'm going to go through all that, but this is all connected to Epstein's plane. This is all connected to stuff that's going on in that island, where we've talked about there's a temple with an underground complex allegedly, where they actually have been committing heinous crimes allegedly against humanity. Crimes against children, ritual sacrifice and worship, all alleged. But this is all the stuff that we're dealing with here, people. So you need to really buckle up and get ready for what's coming. This is the storm. Okay, so next. All right, so here's the next one. And the latest Q post is, this is working, people. We are exposing these people, and we've called the FBI. They've been notified, so just rest assured that you can do it as well if you'd like, but we've contacted them, and this is all, it's all been reported. But we're going to go through how disgusting and disturbing this all is, and we're going to get a record of it on video here, just so for posterity, so we have it back to reference if all of this disappears. Now, this is interesting. Okay, so it cuts to this picture here of Eminem with some young girl, right? And it's on Ray Chandler's Instagram account, which we'll look at for its disturbing pictures, just all types of weird stuff with kids and babies and pregnant girls. Just very odd, okay? And then the comments are even weirder. Reminds me a lot of when we exposed the Pizzagate guy. I can't remember his name. You guys, I'm sure, will let me know in the comments. His name doesn't matter. But the guy who was involved in the Pizzagate incident, the original guy, Alephantis, who owned the shop or whatever. It reminds me a lot of his Instagram or his Twitter account or whatever that was. But here you go. The AN0N post, this picture, it's a screenshot of Ray Chandler's Instagram with Eminem and some young girl. And you can see the comments here where it says, at 17 or 16, and then I can't with this, very tan at Interscope. Wow, this is everything, no. And then there's heart eyes. Yeah, just kind of disturbingly weird pictures, but it's actually pointing to something that Q's going to talk about here. And it says, why is Eminem so vocal against POTUS? Biggest connection missing. Focus on friends, too. I think he's saying one female, one male, one presidential pardon, 187 MS-13. Purpose, Q. So we need to connect the dots on that. They're being laid out for us pretty simple. I have yet to do the full research on this. I'm not sure exactly who the female, who the male is, what the presidential pardon is in reference to. The 187 MS-13, the only thing I can think of is Seth Rich. So please, you guys, help me out in the comments and let me know what you think. I'm going to read through these comments, and then I will be hopefully producing another video tonight that you guys can look forward to while I'll recover a lot of this stuff, and we'll rehash exactly what the collective ideas that we get from the comment board are. Okay? Now, the next one is another screenshot from this person's Ray Chandler's Instagram account of this young boy, right? and it's saying, happy to announce that they're introducing this guy, Cartier person. And there's just all these weird like thumbs up and stars. It says, poor kid, looks like he needs saving. And then somebody responds, that's what I'm saying. What the H is this about? And just little thumbs up. Now, I found stuff that was weird on this person's page. We're going to read what Q says. But the guy says, look at comments here. What the blank are we looking at here? Trafficking in plain sight with the little thumbs up thing with the little OK symbols. And it says at Ray.Chandler on Instagram. I'm sure you guys can go look her up. If her account's been pulled down by now, I can't control that, but I will go through her account and we'll look at some of her stuff. And it's pretty disturbing in my opinion. But it says report to FBI, DOJ. Watch what happens. Spotlight. Subject deviation. Risk. End. Q. Now, the last post, and we're going to go through it and then we're going to look at this person's Instagram and everything. But it says Q, an AN0N post. West Coast FBI DOJ office still open. Anyone called yet? I'll do it. What info? Just the Instagram account? And literally, Q just responds, "Operators on standby." So that's all we need to do. Who knows who's watching this video who will go out and do that? I know that it seems like it's already been taken care of. So I'm going to leave it at that for now, and I'm going to put up this video, and I'm hoping that all of you guys look at this and understand that we need to look at this further. Now let's look at this person's Instagram. Here's the one that stood out to me, just a weird one, right? It says 238 likes, right? And it's from Bristol Farms in West Hollywood and Ray Chandler, and it says, Ray Chandler posts and puts 9th grade, right? And then these people put hearts and high things and cheeky 9th grade, and then a heart with a fire, and then cute. And this guy saying, I remember the Prada sandals. I mean, I'm not versed in any of this stuff, so all I can tell you is that this is really weird and disturbing to me. Woof, hearts. And it's not just this one picture. There's multiple throughout this whole board, to the point where I don't want to show some of them because they're pretty weird and graphic. But let's suffice it to say, you know, people are being recruited through this. Olympia Queen, roses, nice, or dope pic, nice post, stunning. I love your feed. They're trying to email her to become part of some marketing thing. Yeah, it's guys, I don't know. And then there's young boys and there's young girls, and there's lots of pictures of like babies and people pregnant and just all types of weird, strange stuff. And if you go to the top here to the, like, here's one that's really kind of disturbing to me, is this old dude with some young girl, and it doesn't even, they put tops, and I don't even know how that, you know, I don't know. I don't want to get into this. This is all really, really disturbing. Like, this one really doesn't make any sense to me either. And I hate that I have to do this, but I have to do it to bring you guys the information. But it says Ray Chandler, and then at Reed Walker and HQ. And then the guy pops on here and says, direct message us now, beloved. And it's just some guy holding a burnt stick. Like, what kind of weird thing is this all pointing at? And then there's just random pictures of kids here. You know, I don't know. I'm not going to get into it. This is all disturbing to me as an individual, and I'm merely reporting this as it's being reported to me. So we need to make sure that this is seen by the FBI, and they know that whatever's going on here is not kosher, in my opinion, my humble opinion. I don't know everything, but I can tell you this. This lady, Rachel Chandler, this is who she is. This is her picture, is involved in something. And I think it references Epstein Island for a reason. I'm sorry that I had to bring that disturbing info to you guys, but we have to report the truth. We have to report the truth. We can't let them silence us. We can't let them drown out our message and tell us that it's not important. It doesn't deserve to be at least looked at, because nothing on there was illegal. So I'm not saying they're doing anything illegal. I'm merely pointing the fact that it's strange and it needs to be investigated according to Q and what we are being told by him in his posts. Okay. Now, to end this, you know, we're going to stop with a little bit of the opposite of comedy, I guess. Here's with Jimmy Kimmel and his reference to the CIA, but his attack on Hannity more overly. We're just going to watch a really quick 5-second clip here. Let me turn down that volume so we don't get a bad reverb there.
Oh, and more important.
So that's the first thing he says, and this is all just some big rant.
Why is Sean Hannity openly fantasizing about clowns in the ass?
Scumbag, in my opinion, that he is. And then he goes on later here, just completely to talk about how Hannity has never cared about illegal or human traffic, or illegal immigrants and whatnot, or immigrants, I should say, not illegal. But let's listen. So yeah, there you go. That's just a little taste
I appreciate
of what he's
how
dishing out there.
compassionate you've suddenly become to the plight of immigrants in this country over the last 24 hours.
We don't know.
You know what I think?
The loudest voices, Q always tells us to watch out for, the loudest voices. So those are certainly things that we need to look out for. And that's going to be pretty much it for this episode, but I really want to hear you guys' thought, your take, and if you guys feel so inclined, feel free to contact the FBI or the DOJ and just let them know about this Instagram account that Q is pointing us to point out to them, because let's just be quite frank here. There is only so much that we can do as independent people outside. We have to let them do the work. I don't know about you guys, but I fully trust the people working at the FBI and the DOJ in regards to handling this kind of stuff. I think and hope and pray that Trump's cleared out all of the bad weeds and they've been exposed, so that now they can actually be trusted, as we always should have been able to, with this kind of information, so that they can go out and do an investigation and look into it. Because if there's something there, then we want that stopped, and Q's pointing our attention to it. So this is just a big breaking thing that we have to look at, and we'll probably see more about it in the future, I'm sure. Now, that's going to be pretty much it for this episode. If you're looking for a way to support the channel, I really appreciate and need all the help I can get. Thank you to each and every one of my subscribers. But if you have not, if you have not hit the subscribe button yet, come here to this landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified as soon as these videos get posted, because as soon as the information becomes available to me, I will make it available to you. Second thing, go into the comments. Leave comments, leave your thoughts, prayers, insights. We have our own QAnon research board at the end of each one of these videos, and these comment threads are really where there's so much dynamic conversation and thought being had, that we're fleshing out a lot of what Q is saying and developing a better understanding together of what these Q posts mean and decoding them together on the fly as it should be done. This is collective, bringing people together to analyze things and then to talk about them. So that's going to be the whole point of this channel. And it has been from day one. So I appreciate everybody who does come down and comment. And if you don't comment, make sure you go down and just read through the comments, because you'll learn something that you didn't know. I'm sure there's going to be lots of tidbits of information and things that even I wasn't able to get off of the first. You guys got to understand, I'm breaking these posts down in real time. And there's a very small lag between the time that the post gets made and then I do my research and put together this video and bring it to you. So that's why it's always good for you guys to go and help me out in the comments, because in the next video I'll always go back and clarify things that I wasn't sure on, and I'll give your opinions and your comments a chance to be seen and heard here on this channel. So make sure you go and contribute there. But if you're looking for another way to support the channel, because I need all the help I can get, please come over here to patreon.com. That's patreon.com. You can search Just Informed Talk. Go ahead and just search for me. You can find this page. Click the red button to become a patron. I really appreciate it. I need all the help I can. Thank you so much to everybody who has contributed. We're making good headway on getting to the goal, and you can come check out my rewards. You can earn a chance for an email correspondence with me directly, or you can earn a chance to become a featured Patreon patron, meaning I will mention your name in an episode, or you can get this cool limited edition Just Informed Talk is Trump QAnon on the back t-shirt that I have only 10 of, and quite a few of those have been already claimed. So if you guys want to get in on that, you're going to have to come check out this page here and see how you can get involved to get that. So I'm only going to give out 10 of those, and it's going to go to the first 10. There's only a few left. We've already got a lot of them out there through the donations that have been made. So please come and make the contribution, and we'll figure out a way to take care of you. And I want to thank you all for doing that in advance. Helping this channel stay alive and keeping it going through Patreon is a big part of how I do it here. Now, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to take a moment to talk about the most important thing in all of this, and that's God. So the first thing we're going to do is, I've been really enjoying reading Bible verses here at the end that I think are really important and kind of speak to what we're going through here together in this fight against evil. And this is one that really stood out to me. It's Psalm 11. So if you guys want to just stick around, you can hear this psalm really quickly. I have taken refuge in the Lord. How can you say to me, escape to the mountain like a bird? For look, the wicked string the bow. They put the arrow on the bowstring to shoot from the shadows at the upright in heart. When the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? The Lord is in his holy temple. The Lord's throne is in heaven. His eyes watch. He examines everyone. The Lord examines the righteous and the wicked. He hates the lover of violence. He will rain burning coal and sulfur on the wicked. A scorching wind will be their portion. For the Lord is righteous. He loves righteous deeds. The upright will see his face. So how is that important? Well, I think that's kind of self-explanatory, that the Lord will reward the righteous, and he will give the wicked their due. So this is important. We're examining this together, and we're going through all of this very sensitive stuff, this disturbing stuff in some regards. And we have to temper it all with the fact that our faith has to be in God first. And we have to trust that everything we're doing is pushing his will forward. We're exposing the evil, the wicked. We're exposing the corrupt and violent, those who want to hurt and not help, those who want to worship evil and enact evil in the world. That's the battle that we fight here every day. So a part of this battle, I'm glad I can have you guys with me here. And thank you so much for all of your thoughts and prayers. And I will be praying for each and every one of you. If you haven't found God yet, or if you're questioning it, or if you're not sure, just look at the times that we're in, the things that we are dealing with. Okay? Just as we've exposed in this video. Those kind of things, we need God's love in our hearts so we can handle it. And God's strength needs to be with us so that we can report it to the world. Share this information. Get it out there. Bring light to the darkness. That's what our whole goal is here. So I just want to say I'm praying for each and every one of you out there. And I really hope that you take this information and really understand that we can always take refuge in the Lord, because God's grace is greater. So with that, I'm going to leave it this episode at this right now. I'm sure there's going to be more Q posts, and if not, either way, I'm probably going to get another video up tonight, so you guys can stay tuned and look forward to that. But thank you so much for watching and joining me here. If you haven't yet, if you have not hit the subscribe button, please come here and click the big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way you can join the Just Informed Talk initiative. And I'm praying for each and every one of you guys. I want you guys to stay safe and keep following this information. Keep doing your research. And we'll keep exposing this evil day by day as the information is given to us. We'll put it out there against them and counter the mainstream media narrative and show them that real patriots exist who are Christian and love God and put him first and are exposing this on a daily basis. So thank you for joining me. That's going to be it for this episode. I'm Craig. This is Just Informed Talk. God bless and Godspeed, Patriots.